Good morning or afternoon, everybody, or good evening. I think we got everybody globally around the world. This is Donnie from Passover Listings. We're going to do another really fun live interview with someone, with actually another influencer that's going to be jumping on right now. And we will get started in just 1 minute. I hope everyone's getting their Passover plans ready. We're really excited to hear where everyone's headed. Wait to hear where you're going this year. So bear with us for 1 minute as we get her on the live with us. There we go. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi. Hey, Donnie. Hi, everybody.
Hello, hello. Is it Ariel or is it Ariel? How do you pronounce your
I
name?
pronounce it R-E-L, like
Ar-
the letters R-E-L.
Okay.
Ariel.
Ariel, easy enough. And where do you live? Where are you calling in from? Or
I am calling in from New Jersey. It is
nice.
definitely a lot colder here than where you are. I feel
Yes,
like
that's right.
I'm
So
mentally trying to channel some sunshine and imagining myself on a beach somewhere.
Oh my gosh, I think we all are, right? Yes, I don't know if I told you, I'm originally from New Jersey, moved out to Los Angeles, so
Oh, that's
for the weather.
right. Okay, so you know what our winters
Yes,
are like.
I don't miss them that much. Yeah, but there's no place like the East Coast, like New Jersey, New York. Um, so let's dive in. It's going to be a fun discussion. We're going to talk about you and what you do, and talk about travel, kosher travel, momhood. So just taking a step back, so I know, and like maybe for our
Yeah.
followers also listening in, you are a Jewish mother, right? And most of this content that you kind of put out, like, what's your goal of it? Is it to kind of get out what uh, Jewish motherhood is all about, or like
Yeah,
what's the
I think for me, my goal is spreading joy, honestly,
yeah,
like showing the joyful, positive side of Judaism and making Jewish living accessible to more
mm,
people in just like a really fun way, and especially parents. We're all so busy and we have so much going on in our lives, and sometimes it might feel like adding some rituals or living Jewishly is something stressful instead of something that can actually be really fun, and something that your kids will connect with you on. So
right,
I share a lot of my life as a Jewish mom here in New Jersey, but also I share a lot of travel content.
cool,
So my family loves traveling and exploring new places and showing my community, the different areas that we get to explore, but also through a Jewish lens, what it looks like doing Shabbat
right,
outside of our
right,
home, or looking, for places with different kosher dining options when we're away from New Jersey.
right. Yeah, and listen, you hit it. I mean, it's not easy. No one said it was easy being Jewish, right? I mean, it's unbelievable. You got so. I mean,
Hell yeah.
yeah. I mean, finding a kosher restaurant wherever you are around the world, finding a kosher travel program per se, finding just as simple as kind of keeping Shabbat. I mean, there's so many like restrictions
Totally.
that we have on us. So it's really, really interesting to hear that from you, like what you're kind of like showcasing, which is great. I love the fact that like you're kind of showcasing like how fun it is, right, to be Jewish and things of that nature as well. So that's cool. So you mentioned travel, right? I think kind of jumping right into it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It's not easy when you go away, right? I don't know where you've been. I'd love to understand like where you've been and where you go away. Typically, what's your go-to hot spot out there? But when you go away, um, what are like the things that you look for to make your vacation travels easy as you're traveling kosher and you're Jewish, more modern Orthodox? I mean, like how easy is that?
For sure. So I think my kids play a big factor in where we look for destinations, for travel destinations. And as they get older, I feel like more possibilities are opening up to us. But right now, my daughters are 5 and 7.
Hmm.
So we're sort of actually, I feel like, entering a new chapter of family travel because this was really like the first, in this past year time that we were traveling also without a
Yeah.
stroller or a car seat or a pack and play. Like
Hmm.
we didn't have to kind of think about some of those logistical pieces. So that changes things. But I think we have gone to Mexico several times with my kids, to Florida several times. I've been to the Cayman Islands, to the Bahamas. And I think, down the road as they get older, I would love to go to Europe or to other
Right.
parts of the world that aren't only in the Caribbean or in South America. But at this stage of our life, where we are in this season, for me, I'm looking at places that don't have a very long
Yes.
flight. Um, Ideally, a direct
Yes.
flight. And if we can avoid a layover, like those are things
Absolutely.
that I
You're hitting everything that I look forward to. Unbelievable. I have two
I
small
think
kids
whether or
too.
not you have.
Favorite holiday is, but what do you typically do for Passover? Do you stay home? Do you go away? You spend time with family,
Yeah, we've
friends? What's your
done a
go-to?
combination. It sort of depends on where it falls during the year, but we usually are home for the Seders, and we'll go either to my family in New Jersey or my in-laws who live in Massachusetts. And we're here, we usually spend the Seders with family. And then we have gone both ways between spending Chol Hamoed like at home and just kind of doing day trips and coming up with different activities in New Jersey. And also we have had years where we'll go away.
Yeah,
We, full disclosure, have never been on a Passover program. So I am very intrigued,
yeah,
and I'm so happy that I learned about Passover listing, because what you guys are doing makes it so much easier to learn about all of the different options out there, because it can feel overwhelming.
yeah,
So when we have traveled, it's sort of just been on
yeah.
our own. I'm seeing
Yeah, I'm seeing a message. If anyone who's joining right now, can you give us a thumbs up if you can hear us? If you're joining right now and you can hear us, give us a thumbs up or a wave or something. Still, so someone cannot hear us,
Uh-oh,
but
somebody just said they
maybe
still can't hear us. Uh-oh.
I don't know. We're not on. I think we're fine. Are we on? I can
Oh,
hear
I'm
you. You can hear me?
seeing
Oh,
someone
thumbs
doing,
up.
I'm
We're
also
good.
seeing two thumbs up. So
Okay.
some folks might be having
Right.
trouble.
Right. So I would say if you're
Sorry,
looking for,
Donna.
yeah. So yeah, just or jump back in. You can always jump out, jump
Or
back
yeah,
in, see if
come
that
back
works.
on. Maybe you'll be able to hear us if you join us,
We're just we're
a second time.
we're thank you, Elon. So we're definitely jumping into the juice. Let's talk Pesach, right? So Passover is coming up. There's a lot of people going away. Some people stay home, which is great too, right? And it's an expensive holiday, right? It's an expensive holiday to cook and to clean and to get all the,
Yeah.
again, going back to your point, Ariel, like of making sure that everything is kosher for Passover at home, eat down to the flour and the ketchup and the mayonnaise and the Coca-Cola, right? It's unbelievable how specific you have to get on this holiday. A lot of people tend to go away to these all-inclusive Passover resorts, Passover programs, which are really interesting. That started years ago, and it kind of grew into this massive, massive industry of over 120 Passover programs a year,
Why?
where you go away. It's unbelievable. I mean,
Yeah.
some people have never even heard of this concept, by the way, right? Where they're just like, "What? What's this? Where I go away, I don't have to cook, I don't have to clean, I don't. All the food's taken care of, all the entertainment is taken care of for my kids and for the adults, and the cost is the cost, right? Some programs are a lot, and some programs are more manageable, but they're all over the world. Going back to travel, like
Right.
you can go to uh, Europe. You mentioned if you want to go to Europe, you go to
Totally.
Europe, which may be that could be a destination for you in the future, Europe for Passover. Or you can go to Mexico, or you can go to somewhere in the States, and many, many more programs. South Africa, a lot of interesting ones that popped out of the woodwork over the years.
Wow.
Vietnam
South
popped.
Africa. Oh
Yeah,
my God. That would be interesting.
yeah. Have you been?
No, but it's on my list.
Ah,
I have not been to, yeah, I'm trying to think any other countries in Africa. I'm going through all the continents
yeah,
right now. So that's on my list. But I think what you're saying is really true. It takes so much of the stress and the planning that goes into, whether you're traveling or staying home, obviously you're thinking through, your plans. But the idea of going somewhere where everything has been planned for you and taken care of, and you don't have to think about the meals or do the shopping or the cleaning, like that's the dream.
That's the dream. Yeah, it's the dream, and then you look at the price. And the price, we get a lot of, if you ever go on to Passover listings, right, .com, you'll see kind of like the different prices, which is really nice because everyone's like, look, can I afford these things? For
Right.
10 days. And that's a big thing in the world. Like, you have to pay for Jewish education, which is a lot, right? Don't get me started there. You got to pay, right? Kosher food's expensive. Do you have enough saved up to be able to kind of go away, right, with you and your family? And that's kind of the crux of here. And the good thing about it is I think there's a program out there, right, for everyone, which is nice in the sense of, you can go for Europe for a lot cheaper, America for maybe a little bit more. But I think going back to your point initially, it's like this is what people have to think about. Funny enough, it's like, do you stay home? Do you travel? Do you kind of go away with the kids? Do you stay closer to
Right.
home? So there's like so many nuances out there, and where you want to go.
For sure. And I mean, another part of the calculation is, my kids are off from school the whole holiday. So if I'm not traveling, okay, I need to come up with, what are we doing all day? What are the activities? How are we keeping my kids entertained and engaged?
Hmm.
And
How do you keep your kids
something,
entertained
yeah.
during the holidays? Well, what's
Oh,
your
well, when we're home, I usually do try to think of day trips that we could do, or going into the city or to a museum, or something, kid friendly. But of course, in that calculation is packing our kosher for Passover
Mhm.
lunches and snacks when we're out and about, that we have food to eat. And obviously thinking about, now my kids don't nap anymore, but nap schedules and all of those logistics. And if you go away, I mean, what's wonderful, it sounds like a lot of these programs have like built-in childcare and
it,
programs for kids. So besides the food piece of it, there's also that element, which is really nice.
that's probably the biggest element, right? Because when you go on vacation, I don't know about you, right? When I go on vacation, like, I love going away with my kids and family. It's great. But there's a vacation and there's a trip, right? I don't know if that's what you call it, right? I know there's a lot of people out there, you
Yeah.
can disagree with me, but like, people go away and they're like, it's a trip because you got to constantly watch them and be on top of them, and especially the younger kids
Totally.
these days. And you're not really enjoying yourself. I think like many of these are, even with the kids, it's a vacation, right? Because you get to relax and just let them go and have a good time at, like, in the camps. So they have like organized camps and schedules and babysitting, and it's all included, which is
Yeah.
nice,
I
right?
mean,
Which is
that's huge to me because, when you do add up what you would be spending on some of those other, activities and stuff here, it might not come out to the same, but it definitely adds up. And that's part of what you're getting on the
right.
program.
Absolutely, right. Yeah, exactly. You get the food, you get the hotel, you get the entertainment and the program, you get the kids camp, which is
And I
probably, in
think
my
this
opinion.
might sound cheesy, but something, that's really important to me is building these core memories as a family. And I think when we go away together, that's like sometimes, it's only a few days, but like we'll remember that for throughout the rest of the year and beyond, like for life.
Absolutely. When we always ask people, we always survey a ton of people, thousands of people a year, like, why do you go away on
Right.
a Passover program? What's your reason of going away? Is it because of the weather? Is it because of the hotels, or the food? The number one thing is actually the memories.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, right? Like you said, it's like, because this is the one thing you're going to remember, right, for the rest of your life. You're always going to remember, everyone remembers those stories that happen on Pat. You remember 2 years ago when we went, we kind of, met this person, met that, or we're at the water park, or here. Those are the things you're going to remember. It's like really
Totally.
building those memories, which is why, like, while they are expensive, I mean, you can't get this back, right? These types of memories out there. So it's like so nice. And I think this year, especially with everything going on in this world and how crazy it is, my thinking is, and I'm very curious to see this, like, just a lot of people come together, the unity, right?
For
And
sure. I think people, in the last 4 months, as difficult as it has been, have also really, like you said, shown so much unity. And it's been incredible to witness the Jewish community supporting each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's unbelievable, like how many people have been coming together. And what's really cool about, I really love is a lot of these programs, actually, these Passover programs, they're bringing on a lot of Israeli soldiers to their programs, and just kind of like
Wow.
bringing
That's amazing.
speakers from Israel, and it's just like it's going to really hit home. I think there's going to it's you're going to I think this year especially, with everyone coming together and being there in one place at the same time, right, and experiencing it together, right, experiencing the Seder together. You're going to have this, in my mind, this spiritual connection that we've never had before because of what's going on, like how much unity and achdut like that we're really bringing together. So I think it's going to be a really amazing opportunity.
I agree with you. I think that this is the first Pesach since October 7th. And I think for all of those reasons, it's going to be very
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah. So last thing is, in terms of motherhood from you, like what message, like with everything going on in this world, like do you typically try to um, push out, from your platforms to everyone out there? Like what would be kind of like that thing to kind of really give back or kind of show to, here's really what you're trying to do and really showcase, like what's your message to the world?
Whew,
I know
that's a
it's
tough
cheesy.
one.
That's cheesy too, but what is it? I'm always curious. Everyone has a different
Yeah.
message, a different outlay in life.
I think my message is to continue to find the moments of joy in Judaism every day. Right now, it is impossible for us to open up our phones or to look at the news without seeing pain, suffering, trauma, and with the rise in anti-Semitism globally, with the suffering happening in Israel, it can feel very disheartening and discouraging as a Jew in 2024.
Hmm.
And it's very easy to kind of get just depressed by everything, to be
Absolutely.
honest with you.
Yeah.
And my message is that in spite of all of the suffering happening, that we shouldn't only focus on, trauma and the, hardship that, our Jewish people are experiencing right now, but where can we find, even if it's just
Hmm.
moments of happiness and joy in being Jewish, and instill our kids with that sense of Jewish pride.
I love that. Yeah. I totally, totally agree with that. Right. There's always a lot of people out there like, oh, we got to focus on this, 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 this. But I think you're right. I think, look, as crazy as this is, and we're all focused on it, I
Of
don't think there's any
course.
Jew out there that does not focus on Israel and what's going on there 100%. But you're right. I mean, you have to look, have some positivity and not have that, be depressed that,
I'm
where
not
you can
saying
kind of really focus
like
on negative.
pretend it's all not
Right.
happening, but
Right. Exactly.
also like what are things that we can do to support ourselves,
Yeah.
and especially if you're a
Yeah.
parent, like our kids feed off of our energy. So
Yeah.
how can we like in turn support them too?
I love that. That's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. And again, talking kosher travel and just PassoverListings.com. There's pricing and reviews. If you have any questions, reach out to Passover Listings. And again, any tips on Jewish motherhood and just information and just a lot of positive energy, Ariel, you are amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. I think it's great. I love your content, and we'll
Thanks,
see you soon.
Johnny. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.